What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 157 of Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to the show. Wednesday, you can't start the show off like this. We already hit you. We're having a good day, but Wednesday's all sorts of wound up. She knows there's cookies. Come here, Wednesday. Come here. Do you want to have a treat? Now, Wednesday is joining me here in the War Room. And for anybody that is new to the War Room, allow me to welcome you properly. This is Cocktails in the War Room, the weekly show we do every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern, live on my Facebook page. We are 157 episodes in, and it all started last March 14th. Everything's crazy. This is how we've been riding out the pandemic. So we did 80 nights in a row between March and June of last year. And then when we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast, do you see her on the back of the couch right now? And then we turned Cocktails in the War Room into a weekly show. And hey, get out of there. Come on. Do you want cookies? Come over here. And with me on almost every single episode has been my co-host. Oh, where are you, Wednesday? Where are you? There you are. Hold on. I got you. Where are you? Oh, my God. We're having technical difficulties today. Yeah, okay. I see you. Sit down. Can you sit and show people that you can be a good girl? Zero. You want to be a good girl, too? So, hold on. Let me... It just doesn't matter how prepared I am. Sometimes things get weird. No, over here. Come play with the ducking stingray over here. So for anybody that's new to Cocktails in the War Room, now that I have everything straightened out, this is Wednesday, right? She's the Wayne to my Garth, the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson, the hostess with the mostess, and she is basically just here till the treats run out, and then she'll take off for the rest of the show like she does every week. Yeah, she is feisty, Mark. Exactly. Where are the cookies, Ma? Says Shannon. Exactly. The return of the ducking stingray, says Brito. What's going on? We hope to see you again soon, says Ed. There's a lot going on. Hi, best buddy Zero. Yes, I'm new again. What's up, Rodney? Thanks for joining us again. Let's see. Pug butt. Yeah, it's the pug hole, Mark. It's the pug hole. Hey. Can you give me a high five? No, I want you to sit down and show everybody your tricks. No, sit down nicely. Nicely. High five. Down. Down. Good girl. Nicely. Down. Up. Sit. Sit. Paw. No, sit. No, up. Sit down. Paw. Good girl. Other one. Sit. Back up. Sit down. Other paw. Thank you. Back up. Sit. There you go. Good girl. She's wound up. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the time change. I don't know what it is. But have you guys noticed weird things with the dogs since you changed the clocks? Because the dogs... they don't tell time, so they don't really care what your clock says. They just know what their body says. And obviously, dogs have been a little weird because everything's off by an hour, and they don't understand why their stupid humans are acting weird. No, all of the cookies are gone. Here, you got toys, though. So you can sit there and be a good girl. But there's no more. See? They're empty. They're empty. Sorry. But you can stay. So if you are new to the War Room, I promise it gets better than these crazy beginnings. She has been doing laps as I've been trying to get the show set up and ready to go. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I hit the wrong button again to start the show and had to restart the show. Whew. How are you guys? Having a better day than last week, I can tell you. And the first thing that I wanted to do, what are you doing? is I wanted to thank everybody for all of the love over the last week. I have gotten such an amazing response from the conversation that we had last week about my mom. And everyone has just been so wonderful and amazing and compassionate. And, I debated back and forth whether or not I wanted to talk about things. And I'm really glad that I did. Because your response to things and everyone's outpouring of love and support has been overwhelming. And you just have no idea how much I appreciate it. When I went out over the weekend to the vault down in New Bedford, I had multiple people come up to me and kind of pull me aside and let me know that they have kind of gone through, what I'm kind of going through and what my family's going through right now. And it just, hey, get off the coffee table. Get. And it was just really nice to know that obviously I know I'm not the first person to have gone through this, but just everybody's support and just being so amazing and wonderful. It just made me really happy that I talked about it because, like I said, I was a little nervous about it. And so I just wanted to, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you because it meant a lot to know that not only are there people that were kind of lending their support and empathy, but also just it makes you feel not so alone that you're going through something that other people have dealt with and they understand. And the compassion that they give you is humbling. So it was really sweet. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody for, just all the love. This is a big week. Not only is the 246th United States Marine Corps birthday happening tomorrow, but also coming up on Thursday, it's Veterans Day. And so I wanted to make sure that we took a couple minutes to pay tribute not only to the Marines, because yes, it's Veterans Day on Thursday, but the Marines take their birthday very seriously. So the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to show you the new mug that I got. So I told you guys last week that my sister had been traveling, and growing up, whenever my parents went away or whenever one of us went away, gifts were always a big thing with my family. We always made a big deal out of the holidays. We always made a big deal out of birthdays. And whenever you went away someplace, you had to bring back prizes. That's what we called it. And so anytime any one of us would travel any place, we would always bring back prizes for the family, little gifts or whatever. And so my sister, when she got back from her trip, she was like, I brought prizes. And my sister bought me a mug for the War Room. And so this is now going to be the mug for vodka sodas, because for anybody that's new to the War Room, I have a different glass that determines or allows you to determine kind of what I'm drinking on the show. So this is my new mug, which I couldn't love more. And my sister bought it for me. And I think it's amazing. And I think it's the perfect mug to toast 246 years. Happy birthday to the Marines. Cheers to you guys. Semper Fi. Obviously, there's always cake involved. I don't know if any of you have ever been to a Marine Corps birthday ball, but I have been fortunate and honored enough to be able to go to several, especially as of late, because I am a Marine wife now. But there are some amazing traditions at the Marine Corps birthday party or birthday ball. It's a very formal thing. They do a ceremony with their cake that they cut with a sword, and they pass a piece of cake, the first piece, from the oldest Marine in the room to the youngest Marine in the room. And it's usually pretty astonishing to see the oldest Marine in the room, because a lot of times it's someone that's either World War II, Korea, Vietnam era, passing the cake to the youngest Marine in the room, who's usually like 18 or 19 years old. And I remember the ball that I went to, and it was the first time that it was a Marine that was born in the 2000s, was the youngest Marine in the room. And everyone in the room was like, and it's just staggering to see the difference in ages, but it's also a beautiful tradition of the oldest Marine in the room passing on the traditions of the Marine Corps to the youngest Marine in the room and doing it with a piece of cake. And I just love all of the tradition of it. I so wish that I were able to be celebrating the Marine Corps birthday with my husband, who is going to a cake cutting today, although because of COVID, the Marine Corps is not really doing the big formal balls, but they are marking their birthday because they're Marines and that's what Marines do. And so he is going to have cake on his birthday today, which is, it's already today where he is. That's why I'm saying today and not tomorrow, because it's already his birthday there. But he is going to get cake. But I do love going to the ball every year, getting all dressed up. They always have a photographer there. Usually we stay in a hotel near to where the ball is so that we can not have to worry about driving or anything. And usually by the end of the night, we end up on the dance floor, which is not something that usually happens with me. And that is one of the ways you can always tell if I'm drunk or not, is if you see me dancing, there is a good chance that I've been drinking because I don't usually dance sober. What's up, Penny? Ash says, happy birthday, Marines. Let's see, Carrie, my son and myself will be marching. Wait, hold on. Richard Fitz put, we'll be marching with my father's namesake, Vietnam Vet Post, in honor of him. You will be in our thoughts for all that you do. Have a wonderful day, Richard. Gold Star son here in the War Room joining us. This is a very powerful week, not only for the Marine Corps, but also coming up on Thursday, being Veterans Day. And I always want to point this out because I think that a lot of civilians don't understand differences, and especially around Memorial Day, speaking of a Gold Star son. But there are 3 commemorations when it comes to the military. There's Armed Forces Day, which is for the people that are serving in the armed forces currently. Then there's Veterans Day to commemorate all of those who have served or are currently serving that are in fact veterans. And then Memorial Day is reserved specifically for those that have paid the ultimate price and made the ultimate sacrifice. And that is falling in service to our country. And so there are distinct differences between the 3 days. So Veterans Day is a day to thank veterans for their service. Memorial Day is not a day to thank veterans for their service because a veteran will be the first to correct you. And they may say thank you to be gracious, but they will also say, today is for my brothers or for my sisters that are fallen. And so this Veterans Day is a celebration. This is the day that if you've served in any capacity that we get to thank you. And so Veterans Day definitely holds a special place in my heart, not only because I have so many in the family, but also because I've met so many over the years in my trips overseas and all of the work that I've done with the military. And so there's a lot going on. There's a lot of parades. There's always a lot of fundraisers, a lot of amazing nonprofits. Try to raise money and awareness this week. So it's just a fantastic week to pay tribute to everyone that has worn the uniform in service to this country. And so to all of the veterans that are joining us here in the War Room, obviously not just on Veterans Day, but every day, we thank you for your service and thank you for everything that you've done. So cheers and happy Veterans Day, since we won't be together on Thursday. Keith, I do not kill it with the Macarena. It's so sad to watch me dance. Seriously, between me being clumsy, having 2 different size feet, it's just brutal. What's up, Producer Mike? Producer Mike from AAF to Afghanistan joining us in the War Room. Oh, I have a 0 hair on the bottom of my cup. Happy Veterans Day, Producer Mike, an Air Force veteran. So happy Veterans Day to you. Is there a spiked rippet in there, Mike? I didn't have any rippets. Oh, the rippets. Let's see. Carrie Cotton Amash burrito. There's just no way. There is no way. So it's a big week. it's the second Marine Corps birthday since my husband's been deployed. And between COVID and everything, it's just kind of a bummer because I always look forward to, us being able, it's like a big formal fancy date night for us. And so we always go to the Marine Corps ball together in November. And then usually at the end of January is the Blue Cord Ball, which is the Army Infantry Ball that I get invited to because I was embedded with the Mass Army National Guard in Iraq and Afghanistan. And so I always take the one Marine in the room to the Army Ball at the end of January. And I won't be able to do either one of those things again this year because he's not going to be home. But next year. Jen says, I'm out of Facebook jail. Well, welcome back, Jen. Let's see. Headed to Daytona tomorrow morning. Welcome to Rockville, the 4-day festival. Christine, we got to talk about that coming up in music news. So don't let me forget about Welcome to Rockville. All right. So we got a lot to do on the show today. The first thing I want to do is thank the sponsor of Cocktails in the War Room, Latini Creative Solutions. A lot of companies are getting ready to rebrand and do a lot of things because of the holidays and obviously going into 2022. So if you or your company are in need of any kind of graphic solutions, any redesigns of website graphics, social media stuff, I cannot thank Latini Creative Solutions enough for everything that they've helped me do, whether it be designing the artwork for Cocktails in the War Room or all the stuff that's up on mistresscarrie.com, helping me with the merch, all of this kind of stuff. So if you are in need of those services, you can find them at latinicreative.com. Let's talk about the recap of last week's podcast episode. Episode 74 of the Mistress Carrie podcast featured Adrian Belew, prog rock guitar god Adrian Belew, who is now a member of Gizmodrome, but also for 30 years a member of King Crimson. And if you are a guitar player, yes, I do dance like Elaine, Michael. Thank you. If you are at all into prog rock or just a lover of guitar or rock and roll at all, Adrian Belew has got so many stories. Hearing him talk about what it was like to live at Frank Zappa's house, to play with Frank Zappa, hearing him talk about playing with David Bowie and working with Trent Reznor on the Downward Spiral, touring with Tool. It's unbelievable the career that he has had. The fact that he has 20 solo albums is insane. And he's not slowing down anytime soon. And another artist that lives in the Nashville area. It comes up over and over again in the podcast. And so I wanted to know what you guys, Carrie, it's a Bones Day, says Rachel. Yes. You guys have no idea how happy that makes me on TikTok, by the way, that the world is kind of just overcome with the daily updates from a pug. I just love it. So I'm glad it's a Bones Day. It's fantastic. Let's see. So I wanted to find out what you guys thought about this week's episode. Adrian Belew is an eccentric guy. He is, I love the conversation that we had about color blindness because I didn't know that he was colorblind, and kind of asked him, does he want to wear those color correcting glasses? And because he's an artist and a painter as well, I thought his answer about him being afraid he wouldn't like his own art if he saw it in real color was really interesting. Eric says, thank you for the encouragement last week. I was thinking about all of my friends yesterday here in Los Angeles. We have a local chain called Island Restaurants. I got a bacon cheeseburger, fries, onion rings, and Sprites and chips and salsa. I was very full. I'm glad you were enjoying your meal, Eric. One of my friends posted some freaking damn ghost thing on my page. And, oh, Jen, that's why you got out of Facebook jail. I gotcha. Does Wednesday like to dance? Julie wants to know. Heidi, you're colorblind? Because we talked about it in this episode that it's more common in men, like by far. Heidi, have you seen those color correcting glasses? It's something I've seen the TikToks and stuff of someone that's been colorblind their whole life, and then they put those those glasses on and they can see colors for the first time, and it's overwhelmingly emotional. Barbara said, my son is colorblind and he thinks the rest of us are fucked. Those glasses are like $300. Like, they're not that expensive. They look like sunglasses, but it would drive me crazy knowing that I was colorblind, not knowing what everyone else was seeing. And the fact that Adrienne Ballou didn't seem all that concerned about it was really curious to me, actually. Trina says, I have seen those videos and they all make me cry. Exactly. My mom is colorblind too. Crazy. We looked at the glasses for my kids, says Barbara. Like I said, it would drive me crazy to know that the rest of the world was looking at things differently than I was. Like, I would need to know what the rest of the world was seeing. And those glasses, they haven't been around that long, like maybe 5 or 10 years. We actually talked for a while about getting them for LB because he's colorblind as well. And then LB pulled an LB and like disappeared for a while, and then we didn't end up getting them. But yes, Mark, LB is colorblind. Exactly. I winked at a blind man today. I need to get my head checked, says Brianna. You never know what people are going to say in the war room. Somebody asked me recently if I planned out everything that I was going to say on Cocktails in the War Room. And I was like, well, I obviously build the show with things that I do want to talk about, but it would be impossible for me to script it considering you guys are always popping in on the comments with the weirdest things. Carrie, what do you want for Christmas? Do you have a list? Heidi, I don't have a Christmas list. My sister and I were talking about that today, actually, because we always made such a big deal about Christmas, but we're at the age now that, that if you want something, you buy it, and that you don't wait for Christmas to ask for it or whatever. And, obviously with things the way that my mom is, expecting gifts and a big thing at Christmas with mom. I mean, we'll see what happens, but we were talking and she was like, my sister was like, well, seriously, like what is it that you want for Christmas? And I was like, to be totally honest, like I might actually, like I want to redo the shower faucet in my shower. Like I want to replace the plumbing hardware. I was like, out of everything, like that's just what I want. Sorry, I have to fix this cord thing. It's driving me crazy. I was like, yeah, like that's what I want. I want to replace like the shower head and like the knobs in the shower because the thing in the shower that you turn the water on and it comes out of the tub filler and then you pull the thing and it sends the water out of the shower. The tub filler still has water coming out of it and it needs to be fixed and I want to replace it. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I want for Christmas. So I'm not expecting too much craziness. And especially because my husband's gone too. It's like Christmas, it's going to be a meal and it's an excuse for me to make lasagna, which I always make on Christmas. It's the only time of year I make lasagna unless you really sweet talk me because usually at Christmas I make a bunch of them. And then my sister always gets a lasagna for Christmas and then I always freeze one. And so I always have a lasagna in the freezer for either Super Bowl Sunday or we call it blizzard lasagna. And so when we get like that big, massive storm in the middle of the winter and it's like roads closed, possibility of no power, I pull the blizzard lasagna out of the freezer so that I know I'm going to have like this giant lasagna that I'm going to be able to feed people with if the weather's bad. So, Christmas isn't going to be that. Walter, get the plumber, says Heinz. Yeah, I make good lasagna. I make it with my homemade sauce that I jar from the garden, and it's a whole thing. And Christmas is when we eat lasagna. It's tradition in the family. And so it just makes such a mess, and it's so time consuming that if you can make one lasagna, you can make 6. So we usually make like 6. Then we have them. It's a lot. Let's see. Christmas lasagna. Do you put peppermint in it too? I do not put peppermint in it, but there's obviously basil in there. But and I make mine vegetarian because when I jar my sauce, I don't pressure can it. I water bath can it, so it can't have meat in it. And also, there's always 1 or 2 vegetarians showing up at the house for Christmas, so I cook the meatballs and the sausage and stuff on the side. Homemade ravs, Josh. I do make them, but I usually don't make them for Christmas. Yummy garlic bread. Yeah, it's a whole salad. But then we have a turkey too. So we do like the traditional, we have turkey and ham for Thanksgiving. And then we have turkey and lasagna for Christmas. And then we usually have ham on Easter and usually something else. Sometimes like a pork chop or like a pork roast or something. It depends on what the family wants. But Thanksgiving is turkey and ham. And then Christmas is lasagna and turkey. So if you're Italian, you would understand. Let's see. Oh, okay. So let's get back to the podcast. So Adrian Ballou from Gizmodrome and King Crimson was episode 74. And then on Friday, I got a surprise phone call from the one and only Miles Kennedy. That's actually a screenshot from the call. And Miles called in to talk about not only the new album that Slash has coming out on February 11th called 4, but also the tour that is on sale right now. And Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators are going to be at the House of Blues on March 7th. Those tickets are on sale now. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up to you guys, I had a really interesting conversation today. So usually on Tuesdays, that's my errand day. I've talked to you guys about this in the past. I get my coffee, I go to the post office, like I do all this kind of stuff on Tuesday. Today I had to make a run down to Worcester to go see Joe at Joe's Albums. And I did that, ran a bunch of other errands, and then I had to run to Target for a couple things. And I was making idle conversation with the cashier about Christmas coming up and whatever. And she was like, don't wait if you see something that you want to buy someone for Christmas. Don't wait and think you're going to come back and get it, because people started shopping for the holidays early this year and they're not getting as much of everything as they normally do because of all of the things in the ports, the truck drivers. There was a report that there was like thousands of truck drivers that failed their drug tests, and there's just all kinds of stuff going on. So one of the things that I started thinking about, they're saying that the post office could be extra slow, that places like Amazon and ordering online are going to be slowly, delivering stuff and things could be delayed. This is a fantastic year to give music and concert tickets for gifts, because you don't have to get them in the mail. You can download them. You can buy the tickets for someone else. Live Nation and all of the other big promoters are making it very easy to transfer digital tickets now. And there are going to be so many shows next year that people you love that are on your Christmas or holiday shopping list, they're not going to be able to afford to go to all the shows they want to go to next year. And so even though getting concert tickets is a great gift any year, I really feel like it's an extra special gift this year, because it's not going to require shipping. It's not going to require shopping. You can just go online, buy the tickets, have them. And I love gifts that delay the gratification, right? I love it when people give me like a gift card or a gift certificate to a restaurant, because you get it and you appreciate it in the moment. But then I love after the holidays going, what do I want to do for dinner tonight? Oh, I could go and meet friends. Wait, I have a gift card. And I go out to dinner, and then I always message the person that gave it to me 2, 3, 4 months later and go, I'm having that dinner that you bought me for Christmas or for my birthday. Thank you again so much. And so the same kind of thing would happen if you bought someone concert tickets, is that months later, they're going to think of you again because they are now finally enjoying the tickets that you gave them. So I just think that it's a great idea for a gift, and is a little bit more personal than just gift cards. Even though gift cards are great, don't get me wrong. And kids love them because it kind of allows them to learn how to budget. And okay, well, this is how much money you have, so you have to figure out how you're going to spend it. But I feel like if you have somebody on your shopping list that's a real big fan of a certain band and you got them tickets or tickets with the VIP package so they could go to the meet and greet or, merch stuff or whatever, I just think that that's a really cool gift and something that I know that people would appreciate. And I'm telling you guys right now, save your money for concerts next year. There are a ton of them getting scheduled. There are a ton of shows that have not even been announced. There are so many bands working on new music. Next year, we are going to be barraged with amazing concerts, and it's going to be a really tough thing to see all the shows you want to see because there's just going to be too many of them, and we're all going to run out of money. So give the gift of music. And if somebody asks you, what do you want for Christmas? Tell them the show you want to go to and tell them, I would love a pair of tickets to this concert. Plus, it supports the bands, which we can all agree we want to do as well. So, yeah, a gift card to Dunkin' Donuts and concert tickets, Heidi. Seriously, like, is there anything better than that? No. The answer is no. Let's see. Brito wants to know, can I be your guest at the big gig? I don't get to have any fun at the big gig because they got Mike Shue and I working, hosting the whole shindig. So you don't want to be the guest of somebody that's going to be running around like crazy. I do not know if I'm going to have tickets to give away yet, but you never know. All right, so that was episode 74 of the Mistress Carrie podcast and the bonus episode featuring Miles Kennedy that came out on Friday. So if you're not caught up on the podcast, you can go and get caught up. This week's episode, this is a big one. Now, producer Mike is joining us here in the War Room tonight. He was on episode 15 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, and we called that one AAF to Afghanistan 9 years later because we recorded it last year, which was the 9th anniversary of our trip to Afghanistan in 2011. This year was the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and it was the 10th year anniversary of the AAF to Afghanistan trip, and it was also the 15th anniversary of the Boston to Baghdad trip. And so I called my other battle buddy, my producer Joe, that went to Iraq with me. And I thought the week of Veterans Day would be the perfect opportunity to sit down with Joe DeAngelis, the producer from my Boston to Baghdad trip. And that is this week's episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast. The episode goes live at midnight tonight. That is Joe and I on top of the Ziggurat of Ur in or just outside of Talil Air Base in southern Iraq at sunset. And Joe and I go through the trip, much like Mike and I did for the AAF to Afghanistan trip on episode 15. It's a long episode, but we go through the planning of the trip, how we both got ready for the trip, how we got there, the people we met along the way, all the stories we remember, the stories we weren't allowed to tell in real time. Pretty much everyone we met in Iraq is pretty much retired, although not everyone, but it's a long episode. Sorry guys, hold on. I have to check my phone. Let me see. I'll tell you guys why in a minute. So Stiz is texting me because he wants to have a business conversation. I love Stiz. And I also got to let you guys know, I'm keeping my phone close because my stepdaughter broke her arm today in PE class. And she was at the doctor's and getting it x-rayed and stuff. And so I'm kind of keeping an eye on the phone to get updates from her mom to find out what's going on. So pardon me if I'm a little distracted. So I'm pretty, what's on my shoulder in the pic? Okay, so let me make the picture a little bit bigger. It's actually my boonie cap. And it was on a, see, now you can see it a little bit better. It's my hat. And I had the cord around my neck. And as we were taking the picture, the wind blew. So it's just my hat in that photo. But we had a guided tour with an Iraqi local whose family had lived on that land for a couple hundred years. And he gave us a private tour and allowed me to record some of the stuff that he told us. And I still have that audio. I have to dig it out, but I still have it. But Joe and I, Steve Grimy, Team Grimy, I know I love Stiz. Thank you guys for the positive vibe. She's handling it like a champ, but it was just kind of a shock. Will says Bruins up 3-2 in the third. That's fantastic, Will. Sorry I'm late, trying to finish homework with my son, Danielle. Family first. You don't got to apologize. It's all good. So I'm really excited to have you guys hear this episode. So there's a few differences, and I know that over the course of 157 episodes of The War Room, you guys have heard me tell a lot of stories about my trips overseas. The distinct differences between the Iraq trip in 2006 and the Afghanistan trip in 2011 are these. Number one, technology was not what it was in 2011 and 2006. So a lot of the stuff that we recorded, the internet just was not good enough in Iraq at that time to get a lot of it back. So we were not as active on social media and that kind of stuff back in 2006. The other thing is, and it was harder to keep track of the guys once they got home because we didn't have Facebook yet. I know it's hard to imagine sitting here streaming on Facebook. But the other thing was Mike and I in Afghanistan in 2011 spent like the 2.5, 3 weeks with the same guys. And we stayed with them and we traveled with them. And we really developed these super close friendships. Joe and I in Iraq got moved around to different bases every 3 or 4 days. And so it was like every 3 or 4 days we were meeting new people and learning the lay of the land on a different base and learning different protocols because we were getting embedded with different types of units. We got embedded with a transportation unit. We got embedded with a military historical detachment. We got embedded with medevac units. So that we were constantly changing. And so we developed amazing friendships with some of the people we're still really close with today, but it was different because it's like we were constantly getting to know people and then constantly saying goodbye to people. Whereas Mike and I in Afghanistan, we spent all that time with the same guys. And so those friendships were galvanized so much more. And then we had Facebook. So we all became friends on Facebook before we even got home. And so we kept in touch with everyone and have continued to keep in touch with them. Now, there's one person in particular you'll hear us talk about in the Iraq episode, and it's Nick, who I met in Iraq, but then ended up in the same unit that I was embedded with in Afghanistan. And so out of everyone, he's the one that I'm closest to because I was embedded with him twice and we've become super close. And I was a groomsman in his wedding. And so, I mean, when I tell you that these friendships run deep, they run deep. And Joe lives in New York now. He works for a different radio company, has an amazing job in New York City. And we don't get to see each other very often. A matter of fact, the last time Joe and I were in the same room together was at the funeral of one of the guys that we met in Iraq, unfortunately. And Joe and I just picked right back up where we left off when we recorded the episode. And, you know, I just love him so much. And the trip was such a profound experience for the both of us. There is one thing that we did not talk about in the episode, and I'm kicking myself now. So one of the unit that we were embedded with in Baghdad, the military historical detachment, it was this unit's job to travel all around the country and document things like battles, document things like you always wonder, well, how do they know what happened in that battle? How do they know what equipment was used? How do they know who did what? And it's because they have these units that go in there and document everything. And one of the things that they did was they took us in Baghdad to this place, and it was a highway overpass. And I believe it was Staff Sergeant Smith. Can you guys do some Googling for me? I believe it's Staff Sergeant Smith received the Medal of Honor posthumously in Iraq for his brave actions. I believe it was in 2005. And the historical detachment, which Nick was a part of, took us to the area where the battle took place. And the overpass that Staff Sergeant Smith had taken control of the big gun to allow the rest of his guys to retreat as Saddam Hussein's Republican Guard was charging. And he saved countless lives, which is why he was awarded the Medal of Honor. But they took us and walked us through that battleground. And when I tell you the shells from the battle, however many months before, were all still on the ground, hundreds of them. It was this preserved place that no one dared touch because a Medal of Honor was earned there. And it was unbelievable. And literally, we didn't even want to take pictures because it was the first day we landed in Baghdad. And it was one of those things where you feel like you're on hallowed ground. And so I don't even think we took pictures. I'll have to go back through my pictures. Again, this was 15 years ago. Michael, I can't open that link in the comments. Thank you for putting the link up there. But can you guys just post a couple of the details on it? Because I don't want to misquote. I don't want to get his rank wrong. But and especially the date of when the battle was. But we walked through that, and I just remember being so humbled at being in that place. First of all, that was such a dangerous place not that long ago, and then I was walking through there. Paul Ray Smith passed away April 4th, 2003, was a United States Army soldier who was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions during the 2003 invasion of Iraq while serving with B Company, 11th Engineer Battalion, 3rd Infantry Division. Oh God, it's moving too fast now. Hold on. Too fast. In Baghdad, his team was attacked by a group of Iraqi insurgents. After a firefight, he was killed by Iraqi fire. For his actions during the battle, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. 2 years later, the medal, along with the newly approved Medal of Honor flag, was presented to his family on behalf of him, specifically to his 11-year-old son, David, at a White House ceremony with President George W. Bush. Thank you. Sergeant First Class Smith, which is, I was afraid I got the rank wrong. Thank you for all of the info. So it's all copy and pasted in the comments if you guys want to read about it. Hello, Nugget. How come you're back? You decided you want to come back and sit with your mom? You wanted to come back and sit with your mom? She likes to play coy. Yeah, you want to say hi to everyone? Say hi to everyone. There's something else I want you guys to look at, dog related. Jay Weinberg from Slipknot put up a really funny video on Instagram of his dog reacting to his new mask because he debuted a new mask at the Knotfest in Los Angeles last weekend. And so he put his mask on the floor and his dog went over and was like barking at it. His dog is named Papaya. And his dog is a Griffin something. It's King Charles and Pug mixed together. That's Griffin something. I forget what it's called. She knows it's close to mail call, says Keith. Seriously, she does. And oh my God, his dog is so cute. And now Wednesday follows Jay Weinberg's dog because the Instagram for Jay Weinberg's dog is Hiya Papaya. Thank you. You just want to come sit with me? Were you lonely? Yeah? You just want to hang out with your mom? Oh. Really? Come here. Come here and see me. Come over here. Oh, say hi to everyone. Then I can put you on the big screen and everyone can say hi to you. Up the nose. Ah! You say hi? Okay. So this week's podcast episode talks a lot about the trip to Iraq. I can't believe we didn't talk about that tour of the battleground from 2003. And that just goes to show you how hallowed ground that scene actually is, because the battle was in 2003 and we were there in 2006 and it was untouched. And it was a massive area and there were just casings hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of casings everywhere. Let's see. She likes to get her brisket rubbed. Yeah, exactly, Heidi. So I'm super excited for you guys to hear this episode, for you guys to hear Joe, to hear us reminiscing and talking about our trip. And I want to call attention. If you go onto my Facebook page, go into my photo albums, there is a Boston to Baghdad photo album. And it's got a couple hundred pictures in it. And so you'll be able to look through the pictures as you're listening to the podcast, and they're all up there. So super excited for you guys to hear it. It's a long one, so you might have to break it down into more bite-sized pieces. But you know what they say about eating an elephant. You just got to do it one bite at a time. So if you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, not only are you going to get the weekly episodes and the surprise bonus episodes, but you're also going to get the sit rep, which is all of your rock news, music headlines, and industry updates and info in less than 5 minutes. And it happens every weekday. And it uploads in the middle of the night. So if you wake up early in the morning, you can use the sit rep to kind of get you up to date on everything that's going on. And it only takes 5 minutes, so it's not a huge commitment. I also want to make sure that you know all of the different places that you can listen to the podcast, because there's a ton. This is just some of them. But if you search for the Mistress Carrie podcast, you'll find that artwork. And if you do, then you know you're in the right place. Or you can just go to mistresscarrie.com if you don't know how to listen to podcasts, because all the players are there. And then you just have to hit play and you can listen to it right off the website. And if you have liked the Mistress Carrie Facebook page, the sit reps and the episodes also, Facebook propagates them and will notify you if you like my Facebook page that the new episodes are there too. This was really unexpected. So we're holding strong at 117 countries that are listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast. And thank you to our sponsor, once again, Digital Federal Credit Union at dcu.org. But this week, for some reason, Mexico was the number 2 country in listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast, which usually it's been Canada, it's been Australia a few times. I believe it was Italy once or twice. Usually it's Canada, but for some reason, Mexico is the number 2 country for the Mistress Carrie podcast. And so I would like to say hola to everyone listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast in Mexico, our neighbors to the south. Let's talk about some headlines, because there's a lot going on. So big announcement from Brent Smith from Shinedown that Shinedown 7 is completed. They're in the final mastering stage right now, but the record is done. It is not called Shinedown 7, as Brent Smith told us recently on the podcast, but it is their 7th album, so that's been the working title. They have not announced the title yet. He did announce a little bit of a color scheme on the last episode we did, so if you want some inside info on the upcoming album, you can get it in the podcast. But the album is done. Disturbed. David Draymond said that they are finally starting to work on new music now that everyone is in the headspace to do it. And now that David Draymond's not kind of quarantined in Hawaii, because that's where he lives. And so he was kind of stuck there for a long time, and the band was off the road. And now they're starting to work on new music, which is amazing. Also, we talked about this book last week, but I didn't have the release date for it. Mark Lanigan from the Screaming Trees has a new book coming out called Devil in a Coma, about his battle with COVID-19. And when I say battle, he was in a coma. He completely lost his hearing, which for a musician, I can't even imagine what that's like. The book is coming out on December 14th, and it's available for pre-order right now. So if you want to order that book, I bet it's going to be a fascinating read. Slipknot released their new song, The Chapeltown Rag, on Friday, and they performed it live for the first time at the Knotfest, which they streamed live from Los Angeles on Friday night. And now Jay Weinberg and Corey Taylor have debuted brand new masks for the upcoming new album. Speaking of Slipknot, I wanted to remind you that Vended, the band that has Clown and Corey Taylor's sons in it, are playing at Sonia on November 21st. And if you're not in the New England area, Vended is out on the road playing a bunch of shows. They actually played the Knotfest Roadshow on Friday night. And so you can look them up online and see where they're going to be coming in your area if you're joining us from outside of New England here in the War Room. Welcome to Rockville starts tomorrow. And the festival announced this week that they are going to live stream the festival for the first time. And Slipknot's playing. Stained, Disturbed, The Offspring, Rob Zombie. The list of bands that is playing Welcome to Rockville starting tomorrow up through Saturday is pretty impressive. So if you're not lucky enough to be actually going to the festival, you'll be able to watch it online. I believe they're going to be streaming it on Twitch. It was in the SitRep, I believe, today. So the link is in today's SitRep show notes if you want to make sure and double check me. Korn has been hinting that they are going to release new music coming up on Thursday. There's been all of these billboards, and there was this weird Instagram filter, and Jonathan Davis has been tweeting stuff out. So we're going to get something from Korn coming up on Thursday. And it's so crazy because think about it. We just had new Limp Bizkit. We're getting new Korn. Deftones released an unbelievable new album. Papa Roach has a new album coming out. Like all of those kind of Y2K, new metal, like whatever labels people put on them, they're all still around and they're all still coming out with albums, which is amazing. Linkin Park, did you see Amy Lee and Lizzie Hale cover Linkin Park's Heavy on the first date of the co-headlining arena tour? It was fantastic. There's video up of it online. And that tour is going to be at the DCU Center coming up on December 18th. So you're not going to want to miss that. Over the last week, we've gotten a new song from Green Day, U2. There's also new Deep Purple, new Jethro Tull. Speaking of bands coming out with new music, Stabbing Westward has announced they are coming out with their first new album in 20 years, and it's with the original lineup. That's what I'm saying. So for all of this new music, you guys got to think, to go back to what we were talking about earlier, these are all going to be tours. There's so many new albums that are getting worked on right now, finished and getting ready to come out. And then they're all going to be supported by tours because so many bands have tried to go out on the road and had to cancel. And so many other bands like the Pretty Reckless said, you know what, we're just going to sit out the rest of 2021 and we're going to hit it in 2022. And that's what a lot of bands are doing. And so it's going to be very busy. Let's see. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Speaking of live streams, Seether has their live stream on Thursday night, and that's up on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. The Palladium, don't forget, if you're going to be going to shows, double check the venue requirements and restrictions. They change every show sometimes because the artists have the right to stipulate what they want to happen with COVID protocols. So just because the Palladium is lifted there, typo. It's not tax and test. It's vax and test requirement. So typo on the screen, drink. Double check no matter what show you're going to, no matter what the venue, and double check it because you could be traveling to, say you live in Massachusetts and you're going to Connecticut or Rhode Island, like you got to double check the requirements and, having a mask with you and a vaccine or a negative test paperwork with you is not a bad idea. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening is rolling into the House of Blues next Tuesday. Theory of a Dead Man's going to be at the Palladium on the 20th. Starset and All Good Things have been on the podcast. So is Theory of a Dead Man. Starset and All Good Things are going to be at the Palladium on November 23rd. And Atreyu, who is also on the podcast, is going to be at the Palladium on the 24th. So there's a lot of shows coming, a lot of great shows. Very excited. Speaking of David Draymond from Disturbed, yes, the guys from Disturbed getting back at it, but he is also featured on the new song Dead Inside, which is from Nita Strauss, who is Alice Cooper's longtime guitar player. I think she joined Alice Cooper's band back in 2014, and the song is really good. Brandon Boyd from Incubus announced that he has a new solo album on the way. It's called Echoes and Cocoons, and the first single is called Pocket Knife, and it's coming out on November 19th. And we talked about the Tom Petty documentary that was in theaters. It's called Somewhere You Feel Free, The Making of Wildflowers. And they are going to premiere the documentary on Tom Petty's YouTube channel on Thursday. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that was there as well so that you could check it out if you're a Tom Petty fan. And don't forget about all of these shows. Jeff Tate is going to be at the Boat on Monday. Bruce Dickinson's spoken word tour is coming to the Schubert on February 5th. Tickets are already on sale. There's another typo. Jesus. The wheels are falling off the wagon. Drink. Sorry. Volbeat and Ghost, those tickets are on sale to see them at the DCU on February 11th. And the Dropkick Murphys made a big announcement today. And we got to talk about this. So the Dropkick Murphys announced their tour leading up to the St. Patrick's Day shows in Boston. And they're going to be all over the country. So if you're a transplanted New Englander or a masshole and you want to go and see the Dropkicks, they're going to be coming to a city near you. The Dropkicks are playing 4 shows starting on St. Patrick's Day. They are playing the House of Blues on March 17th, 18th, and 19th. March 20th, the Dropkick Murphys are playing at a new venue called Roadrunner, which is in Brighton. Now, you guys will remember that for 20 years, WAAF was at 20 Guest Street. Well, Roadrunner is at 89 Guest Street. A brand new concert venue got built down the street from where AAF used to be. The venue is set to open in the spring. The Dropkicks are playing there on March 20th. I went on the website for the venue and it looks really nice. I added all the Dropkick Murphy shows to the events calendar with the ticket info. All of the tickets for the entire tour go on sale this Friday. So all the St. Patrick's Day shows for the Dropkicks go on sale this Friday. And also just announced, Falling in Reverse are coming to the Songus. And the whole thing, I want to make this bigger for you. They are going to be at the Songus Center at UMass Lowell coming up on January 21st with Hawthorne Heights and Wage War. It's a massive tour. It just got announced today, and the tickets go on sale this Friday. And that show is also on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. All of, good night, Jeff. All the details are up there, so you can get all the info, all the links, everything you need to know. I want to send out a huge thank you to everybody that showed up at the Vault in New Bedford over the weekend. There were some great bands. It was awesome to see everyone. 6 to 1, 16 by 20, Firstborn, Exception. All the bands were great. And these are just some of the photos that I took with some of the bands. Also got to meet the band Sepsis, who is going to be playing with OTEP coming up in February at the Vault. That show is also up on the events calendar. So I just had an absolute blast, and it was so nice to be able to go out, not only to see live music again, but to be able to go out and support local music. And I want to thank everybody that showed up that night. We had an absolute blast. And there's definitely going to be some more events coming up, so keep listening for that. I also want to remind you guys about a Mistress Carrie deal. TS to T, Live Loose. You can get 15% off of everything you buy if you use Carrie15. That's the code. And there's a special link if you go to my blog at mistresscarrie.com. And I bring it up because I got a little package from them and I wanted to show you. I was going to open it in the mail call, but because it's a Mistress Carrie deal, I wanted to show it to you guys. So I had talked to you guys about how I try to put myself on like vocal rest as much as I can on Sundays because it's the only day that I'm not on the radio and it's the only day that I'm not recording like podcast episodes and stuff. Look, here comes Wednesday because she thinks it's mail call time and can I help you, Wednesday? That's tea. That's not for you. Do you guys see this right now? So TS to T, they have these filters, which is basically like a tea bag. And you can put however much or however little of whatever kind of loose tea that you get from them. And so it's kind of like an individual coffee filter. And they sent me a sample pack of some of the tea because I told them, I said, hey, can you send me some of this stuff so that I can tell people like what they're going to get? So these are sample packs, which I also thought would make a great gift for a tea lover that you know. This one's called Chai Love. It's spicy chai black tea. Look at Wednesday just sitting there. I got to save this one for last. There's Maui mango tea, which I am dying to try. This is going to be fantastic for late night, especially with insomnia. Lavender, chamomile. There's lean green machine tea. There's nutty almond cream. Like these are gourmet teas, but inside, can you see inside the bag that it's loose? So then you can just take however much of it you want and put in those little filters, or you can get those bags that have the little screen in them and then it brews it. I have a couple of those too. There's Fruity Paradise. There's also Passion Berry Jolt. And I saved this one for last. They sent this one and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. If you know, you know. So these are just some of the different tea blends that they have. And they come with like tea instructions. Like tea is for tea people. Like tea people are legit. So I thought it was really cool. And if you go on the website, they have gift packs. So if you don't know anything about tea, but you know somebody loves to drink tea, you can just get a gift pack and it comes with a bunch of these different things so that people can try different ones and whatever. And you can get 15% off everything that you buy if you use Carrie15 as the code when you check out. So thank you to them for hooking me up with all the stuff. What are you doing? Do you think you're going to get stuff? Is that what you think? But you got all these toys. How many more toys do you want? Huh? Your ear is all messed up. There you go. Let me see. So that's a Mistress Carrie deal, and I'm working very hard to get you some more Mistress Carrie deals before the holidays because I like being able to get you guys stuff on a discount, especially good stuff. So pretty psyched about that. All right, let's get to mail call, which is exactly why Wednesday's sitting right here. So I got this amazing card, and I'm not going to read it because it's personal, but I thought it was really sweet. And like I said at the beginning of the show, the outpouring of support and love after talking about my mom last week, Heinz sent me this really beautiful card, and it just says, thinking of you, just wanted to take a moment to let you know it. And then he just wrote me this really sweet letter inside that I'm just going to keep to myself. But Heinz, I really appreciate the card. And, like I said, guys, all the love that you guys have been sending my way just over the last, well, obviously since forever, but definitely over the last week has not gone unnoticed. Okay, then I got this. So I got this box and it says open this side up. And I got this, which was really, it's an Anna Lee doll. Look. For the war room. How cute is that? It's really sweet. It's even got a little rifle, a little felt backpack. But I thought it was so cute. Made only by Anna Lee in Meredith, New Hampshire. So it's locally made. I thought it was really, really cute. I love the fact that it's locally made and it's a perfect addition to the war room. So I love it. And I have to keep that away from Wednesday because she'll probably think that's a toy. Oh my God. Now, there's no card in here, so I don't know where this came from. Oh, it came from Heinz. Okay. The card came separate. That's why I was confused. Hell yeah. I know what I'll be wearing in the war room next week. Check that out. Billy F. Gibbons, a perfect addition to my concert and artist shirt collection. That is awesome. He just came out with a new Christmas song, by the way, today. If you guys search for Mistress Carrie on Spotify, not only are all the corresponding playlists for all the podcast episodes there, but I also make, there's a cover song playlist, there's a Halloween playlist, and there's a Christmas playlist. And I added the Billy Gibbons song to the Christmas playlist so that you guys can check that out. And then... So there's coasters in here, and then there's all of these business cards for the companies that... So there's a set of coasters. There's the don't fuck up the table coaster. It's just hilarious. Please. There is don't be a cunt cake. There is the fuck this, fuck that, fuck them, fuck it, fuck you, fuck everything. And my personal favorite, don't be a twat waffle. These are so amazing. Heinz, these are awesome. He also said third shift fabrication, metal bottle openers, wall art, fire pit. Check them out. They're really cool stuff. So I will definitely check that out. But these are really, really cool. And I love the fact that this stuff is made local. And I love this because it's the perfect addition to the war room. So I'm going to put it up on the shelf tonight. It's awesome. So thank you. I appreciate it. And like I said, I need to keep Wednesday away from that because she will totally try to eat it. Okay, so also want to let you guys know, I actually was down at Joe's Albums today in Worcester, and the Mistress Carrie merch is now available at Joe's Albums, both on Main Street in Worcester and also on Market Street in Northampton. And, you know, for a local business, Joe's Albums has done something pretty awesome. Technology's amazing, but there's two locations, right, that are filled with thousands of titles. There's so much vinyl, and all of the vinyl, whether it's new, there's reissues, and then there's all of the used kind of vintage vinyl, which is all cleaned and inspected. So if you buy used vinyl from them, it's in amazing shape. But their website has their entire stock on it. So you can go on there and buy something online that maybe they only have in the Northampton store, but you don't want to go to Northampton, so you can order it on their website. And it's awesome. And all of the Mistress Carrie merch is available just in time for Record Store Day, which is coming up on Black Friday. So if you, again, have a music fan and you don't know what to buy them, and you don't want to take the chance of ordering something online from Amazon or whatever, and you don't know what to go, just stop by Joe's Albums, walk in there. You could spend hours just combing through the racks of vinyl, and it's so organized. And they sell a bunch of other really cool stuff. Like they only sell the band Funko Pops, and they sell a lot of barware that's band logoed. Anything, I mean, their slogan is it's all about the music. So that kind of tells you everything. But they just opened their second location in Northampton a couple weeks ago, and I'm super psyched and totally honored that they wanted to sell Mistress Carrie stuff too. And so I could not thank them enough. So totally psyched. All right, if it's your birthday today, cheers to you. If you're celebrating your birthday today, you share it with Tom Fogarty. You share it with Chris Jericho from Fozzy, and you share it with Thong Ta Thong 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 Cisco. So happy birthday to you guys. Twat waffle needs to be in the dictionary, says Trina. Add cunt cake to the dictionary. I know, right? I need that twat waffle one for work. How far is Worcester and Northampton from Albany, New York? Probably, well, Northampton would be closer to Albany because Northampton is out by Amherst. So I would think Northampton for you coming from Albany is what, an hour? Worcester would be further. I think Worcester would be like an hour and 40 minutes or something. Well, happy birthday, George, celebrating your birthday on Sunday. My first ever album was Michael Jackson Thriller from Riches. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Cunt cake is my new favorite word, says Danielle. Hey, all, don't be afraid to meet a friend from the War Room on Facebook, says Eric. Hey, it can be a little intimidating. You meet here in the War Room, you don't know. There's all kinds of weirdos around, including all of us. So, but it's definitely worth the ride. It's a really cool record store. I have not been to the Northampton location because it just opened a couple of weeks ago. But Northampton's one of those cool little towns that like you could just kind of wander around and pop into all the shops. And having a record store there is pretty cool. And a couple more things just about Joe's albums real quick. If you have albums that you inherited or that are taking up space and you don't know what to do with them and you don't know what they're worth and you need to get rid of them, especially if you need money around the holidays, Joe's Albums buys albums, like estate albums. So if you have your older brother or your dad's records or just albums you've collected that you just don't want to keep anymore, they'll buy them from you. And then they clean them, take really good care of them, and resell them. So, yeah, I'm pretty psyched that Joe's Albums has all of my stuff. So happy birthday to everybody. Also want to let you guys know about the Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, which you can get on Patreon. You get an exclusive live stream every month, which, by the way, we're doing this Sunday night at 7:30. So anybody with a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, we're going to meet up at 7:30 on Sunday night. You can also submit podcast interview questions. You get early access to event tickets when I'm getting ready to announce shows. You also get exclusive concert ticket giveaways. And right now, people with Mistress Carrie Backstage Passes have access to tickets from Theory of a Dead Man, Atreyu, and tickets to see Falling in Reverse. And those tickets don't even go on sale till Friday. So if you don't have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you can get one on Patreon. There's a link at mistresscarrie.com, or you can just go to patreon.com/Mistress Carrie. And speaking of social, there's all the social media places that you can find me. Obviously, you found me on Facebook. These episodes of the War Room, Cocktails in the War Room, all the episodes get hosted up on my YouTube channel. So if you know somebody that doesn't have Facebook, which of course there's a lot of people, they can go back and watch the episodes on YouTube as well. So make sure you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie YouTube channel. Let's see. My parents have an abundance of Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass Band album. Donna, you know what? There are vinyl collectors that are in search of all different genres of music. And Joe's Albums, they sell everything. It's not just a rock record store. They sell everything. So if you have access to albums and you want to get rid of them, to someone that you know is going to appreciate them and be able to honestly tell you what they're worth and be able to make some money, go to Joe's Albums. Joe's been amazing. And I mean, the store is literally 5 doors down from the Palladium. It's right on Main Street. It's right next to Mechanics Hall. It's super easy to find in Worcester. It's Market Street, obviously, in Northampton. Like I said, I haven't been to that location yet, but I don't know what you guys are talking about, but it sounds dirty. Take care, Warm family. Okay, Walter, thank you. I loved Herb Alpert memories, says Betty. So that's basically it for this week, guys. Again, thank you for last week. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you to everybody that sent stuff in the mail call, Hines. You're amazing. I really appreciate it. Lots of shows going on sale this Friday. Keep your eyes on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com because I am constantly adding shows, live streams. There's so much going on, and I'm trying to have the event calendar be a place that you guys know that you can get all the info about all the shows that are coming around. And so you can just go to it right off of the website. And as always, you can contact me anytime. Just click the contact button in the top right-hand corner of the website. If you want to send me a message, you can do it that way. And episode 75 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight, just in time for Veterans Day. It's Boston to Baghdad, 15 years later, with my producer from the trip from 2006, Joe DeAngelis. And I can't wait for you guys to check out the episode. But like I said, get comfy because it's a long one. Happy birthday once again to all of the Marines in a couple of hours on the East Coast, but to any Marines that might be watching overseas, happy birthday to you already. And also happy Veterans Day to all of the veterans here in the War Room and to all of the veterans in your family, your loved ones. Thank you all for your service. We love you so much. You are part of the reason why the War Room is even a thing. And so we want you to enjoy your day on Thursday, but every day we are grateful for you. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Episode 157 is in the books. And now I need to go find out why Wednesday's so quiet. Good night.